So, Trump has actually won the presidential election again. And I've spent all morning going through all the stages of grief. I went through denial and anger and bargaining and depression. I haven't quite made it to acceptance yet, but I'm sure that'll come. When he took office last time, I figured we could kind of write it up to some sort of a sick joke or a fluke or a massive misunderstanding. But this time around, people voted with their eyes open. The racism and misogyny that's led us here is absolutely insane. I'm beyond furious and incredibly deflated. We're stuck in this twisted Groundhog Day where we keep making the same disastrous choices again and again, but this time we know what the choices are. This election just seems like a national scale act of self harm. And Trump's blatant disregard for democracy is just mind blowing. He's treated our institutions like it's his own personal playground, tearing down checks and balances like they're optional, and he's attacking the free press, he's undermining the judiciary, and he's throwing tantrums wherever things don't go his way. It is infuriating to watch somebody just bulldoze through the foundations of our democracy without a second thought. And it seems like he just doesn't care. He's such a master at sowing division, thriving on chaos, and the man seems to thrive on pitting people against each other over race and religion and everything in between. It's like he enjoys watching the country tear itself apart when he stirs the pot from his truth social throne, and that isn't leadership. It's fucking chaos, and it's dragging us backwards. And if it was just the US he's driving off a cliff, that'd be one thing. But the stability of the world is dependent, right now, on US foreign policy. And that just isn't Trump's strong suit. His reckless foreign policy is absolutely terrifying. One minute he's cozying up to dictators, the next he's alienating our closest allies with off-the-cuff remarks and impulsive decisions. It's just blunt force, sledgehammer diplomacy with no finesse. And it's backed by bellicose rhetoric to boot. And that unpredictability isn't a strength, it's a ticking time bomb on the global stage. It's bad enough in peacetime, but we're not in peacetime. Trump is taking the reins as North Korea is starting to help Russia with the Ukraine invasion, and the whole Israel-Palestine situation is a powder keg. It's not just waiting to go off, it's literally on fire. And on top of all of that, and perhaps more personally relevant to me and mine, the country has become a much less safe place for minorities. People of color, queer folk, trans folk, they're all facing increased hostility and discrimination. And Trump is just thrashing about with impunity, with language ranging from grab them by the pussy in private to racist and xenophobic garbage in public. Don't get me wrong, it's not the fucking swearing I have a problem with. It's a dehumanization of certain slices of the population. What Trump dog whistles from the lectern, the unfiltered masses will amplify in private. And things just got extremely dangerous as the country just collectively went, you know what? I think I'd rather backpedal into prejudice than take the small wins and progress we've seen over the last few years. And I'm so fucking tired of this nightmare. We deserve better than a leader who treats the presidency like his own personal reality show. It's just maddening to see the potential of our nation sidelined by ego and incompetence. Something's got to give, and I really hope we find a way out of this mess sooner rather than later. And of course, as ever, it's the weakest and most vulnerable and most dependent who are going to carry the brunt of all this. Not on my watch. I just don't know what to do. I wish I did. And for now, shouting into a camera is all I've got. It's insane. It's completely insane.